representing DataBrid Africa. And again, just as John has apologized, apologies for sharing the link a bit late, but fine, we are here. We thank you for sparing time. So maybe I can, just like John has done, I can share briefly what we do at DataBrid Africa, just over a minute or two as we get into the training. So DataBrid Africa is a tech firm. We run in two divisions. The first division is called Cybersecurity and Enterprise Technology. That's a B2B unit of ours, which takes care of matters, cybersecurity solutions, infrastructure, and consultancy services to other organizations. So those cybersecurity is end-to-end, from your network to the perimeter to your applications, cloud, and so on, endpoint and the rest. Then, of course, infrastructure, that is from your data center through your network and all those systems. Then the other division, which is why we are here, is can we mute? Let me just mute all. Yeah, so the other division, which is why we're here, is the DB Academy, which is the unit that now does trainings, certifications, and capacity building, specifically on tech subjects, including artificial intelligence, data science and analytics, which is why we're here, cybersecurity and ethical hacking, as well as data engineering. So those are the major areas that we focus on in terms of training. And of course, our trainings also run in two ways. People can sign up for the programs as an individual. You can sign up for a program as a person to be trained on data science, data analytics, or whatever it is you want to be trained on, cybersecurity, AI. And we can also train you as a corporate. So you can come to your place, or you come to our place, or whichever place, then we train you, or even if it is virtually, we train your team, we train your organization, just to ensure that you guys are able and capable and up to date with the emerging technologies, especially matters AI, matters business intelligence, matters cybersecurity, and even data management. So that's on a high level what we do. I know we will get to know each other more. And we are also hoping that we're going to have very interactive sessions throughout the 3 days. And finally, we thank ICTA Authority and the rest of our partners for being able to organize this, to let us, share knowledge and skills with you guys. We're also hoping that we will have as interactive sessions as possible, so that you ask questions, chat them up. You can also request or raise your hand so that we just have a session that makes sense to all of us. And at the end of it, if you attend as per the agreed timelines, definitely there's also certification at the end. So I believe we're all looking forward to that as well. That's on top of gaining the skills that our able trainer, Wangari Mushai, will be taking us through for the next 3 days. Thanks, everyone. I know most of us have already joined in time, but even those who have just joined, let's keep time tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, so that we cover as much as possible. Yeah, I think that's on a high level what we are and what ICTA is, and we thank you guys for being here. Maybe now I can let in Wangari Mushai, or if there's any question, we can also hear from, before I bring in Wangari, maybe just 1 or 2 people can unmute and say hi, so that tusikue wageni sana to each other. Just randomly, if you want to say hi, just 1 or 2 people max. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
we can
hear
you.
Okay, just 1 person or 2, just say hi, and due to see Isikwe, we are the only one speaking. Just say hi, how your day has been. And Diana, ciao, you're free to go ahead.
Hello, my name is Diana. I am currently working as a manager. I'm glad to be here, open to learning a lot from DataBrid Africa team and the ICT team. Thank you for organizing this. It's really great. Thank you.
You're most welcome. We hope you're going to gain something over the 3 days. Somebody else? A gentleman?
Hey, bro, and the team. This is
Hi.
Mongai Peter.
Oh, yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Was it Peter that I know, or somebody else?
Yes, he's the Peter, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm following through. Looking forward to even follow to learn from the class. It's a coincidence. I've been going also through some data analytics courses. Think I'm also interested in that, and I'm sure to be interested. And interesting. For those who don't know Levix, this is a guy you will depend on his team. And I actually look forward also for hosting together or do a number of things together. And for also ICT Authority, who actually built me in a number of programs. I think this is incredible. And cheers, team.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. We're looking forward to a wonderful session over the next 3 days. And we're open to partnering with you and, of course, partnering with anybody else or any other organization within here or around the country, around the world, to be able to train, offer solutions and the like. So we can discuss that as well, Peter, later. Yeah, I think that's fine. Somebody else who really wants to speak or say hi? It's already 5:40, so we are 10 minutes into time. If not, I think we're good.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm Dennis Carano. I'm a student doing ICT. Happy to be here.
All right, thanks for being around. Thank you so much, Dennis. All right, I think that's, yes, just the last one very quickly.
Hi, my name is Maurice Mulu.
Yes.
I'm an accountant, and yeah, sure, I'm interested to learn more about the data analytics. Thank you.
All right, thank you for being here, and we hope you're going to gain a lot. This is just one of the programs we offer, and we've done this a couple of times with ICT Authority and, of course, our other partners. So I believe everybody's going to drop their contacts wherever in the database that will be shared so that we give even more information after. All right. Wangari, you're good. I can let you in now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, John. That is John.
Yes. This is John. So before you
Yes.
proceed, to everyone who's in the meeting, please join the WhatsApp platform link that has been shared, because that is where both ICT Authority and DataBreed will be able to share more materials and even part of the attendance form that is required for this training, because we also want to capture your feedback. So please kindly, based on the email, join the WhatsApp group link that has been shared, because it will be easier for everyone to correspond and shall be real time in the event that there are any challenges.
Okay, which link have you shared, John?
Yeah, it's on the but everyone who's in the meeting has a link that was shared through email. I'll share with you as well.
Is it the general one? The one?
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
Let me share with you as well.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, I think that's okay. Thanks, John. Thanks to the rest of us. Wangari, I think we can let you in. So guys, Wangari is our technical trainer, lead trainer on data science and analytics. She's done this for a while, and we know that she's going to be able to share with us a lot of knowledge and skills that can be able to help us at our workplaces, in our businesses, and in whatever it is that we're doing. Of course, we know that matters data science, data analytics, cybersecurity, AI. Those are top skills right now. So if you get yourself there, if you get yourself skilled and certified, of course.
Yes, let me get myself skilled.
All right, so yeah, that's okay. Karibu sana Wangari Mushai. You can take us to the next session.
Thank you so much, Levix, and thank you for ICT Authority for this opportunity. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's session. Before I continue, kindly confirm that I'm audible enough and that you're able to see my screen from your end.
Yes, you're audible. We can see data analytics program.
Good, thank you so much. Again, my name is Wangari Mushai, and I'll be taking you through this program for from now up to Thursday. And I'm hoping that we're going to have a smooth time and also a wonderful time learning together. And I'm so sure from those that have spoken, I can tell that we are, we're kind of diverse in our professions, but we'll see how we work around that. Yeah. This program is going to cover a number of areas. First of all, we're going to cover foundations of data analytics. We want to understand what data analytics is, how it is applied in real-world business contexts to help us drive decision-making. So we already have the data and we want to make use of that data to help us, make decisions. So that is what we're going to look at, the foundations of data analytics. For those that probably haven't interacted with data before or data analytics before, we're going to cover that. Then we're going to proceed into looking at different tools that are used for data analytics. We're going to look at Excel. I know most of us are familiar with Excel, and we're going to now look at Excel for data analytics. How do we use Excel when it comes to data analytics? Then go to Power BI. For those that are interested in business intelligence, we're going to look at Power BI. There are other tools that are used for business intelligence, but in our case, we're going to look at Power BI, and we're going to see how we create interactive dashboards and visual reports in Power BI that help communicate insights effectively to any audience, whether technical or non-technical. Then after that, we're going to cover Python and SQL. So we want to understand, how do we manage databases? First of all, what are databases and how do we manage them? That is where the SQL or SQL, the structured query language, is going to come in. And then now go to Python. Python for data analytics or Python for data science. So that is going to cover the advanced data analytics bit. Yeah. Then after that, we're going to see how we communicate insights. So you have your data, you've done your analysis, and you have some results, and you're supposed to communicate these results to maybe your stakeholders. Then after that, they're supposed to make decisions. So maybe you're also supposed to recommend some actions. So how do you go about that? So in short, we're going to cover the entire data analytics workflow, from data collection to providing insights or communicating insights. Yeah, so that is what we're going to cover for the next 3 days. And of course, today we're going to start with foundations of data analytics. I hope that is clear. And in case you have a question, feel free to maybe chat as we continue. Levix is going to help with that, or maybe someone from ICT Authority, maybe you can note down the questions that I'm going to miss out for a smooth session. Yeah. So before I proceed to now introduction to data analytics, what do you understand by the term data? Or when someone mentions data, we're not talking about data bundles, we're talking about data. What comes to your mind? Or when you're told that they have a training session on data analytics, what came to your mind? I know everyone nowadays is like, oh, data is the new fuel and all those things. But when someone asks you, what is data? What would you tell them? Yeah. What would you tell them? What is data?
Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm a statistics student, and
Okay.
this is my understanding of data. It is a collection of raw facts which can be processed to obtain meaningful information.
Collection of raw facts that can be used to get some meaningful information. Thank you. What's your name again?
Alan George.
Thank you, Alan. collection of raw facts that are supposed to be used to give us some meaningful information. Thank you, Alan. Someone else? Someone else?
Dennis.
Maybe you
Yes.
can.
Yes, Dennis.
Dennis Carano. I can define data as raw factors that can raw facts that can be processed into a computer to make meaningful information out of it.
Okay. Raw facts that can be processed to make meaningful information out of it. Thank you so much. So maybe we can work with that. So thank you, Alan and Dennis. Data is basically raw facts. That is to mean it's unprocessed information. And from this unprocessed information, we are using it to make meaningful insights or to get some meaningful insights from it. Yeah. So in this session, today's session, we're going to cover what data analytics is. So by the time we are finishing this session, you're supposed to be able to understand what data analytics is, why it matters, and how organizations use it to make better decisions. Then number two, we're going to look at the analytics process or the data analytics workflow from the problem definition all the way to decision making. Then we're going to look at the different types of data. We have quite a number, and we're going to look at the differences. Then you're going now to proceed to Excel for analysis. Yeah, that is to mean we're going to get into the data analytics tools, and we're going to look at Excel. Yeah, so data, as Alan and Dennis have said, data is basically raw facts and figures. Facts could be, text in text form or even in figures form, that is values. And we're supposed, sorry? And we're supposed to use that raw, we are supposed to use, kindly mute if you're the one, oh, thank you. So you're supposed to use these raw facts and figures to get some meaningful information out of it. And now I want to look at now what is data analytics. We already have data, and now we have analytics. So data analytics is the process of examining raw data, the raw information, raw facts and figures, to find patterns. That is the first thing. Draw conclusions and support decision making. It is a process, and we're going to see that workflow from you getting the raw data. How do you get this raw data? How do you collect this data? To, from that data, being able to find patterns. Once you're able to find patterns, that is, you're able to study through the data, get some patterns. Then from the patterns, you're able to draw conclusions or insights. Then with those insights or with those conclusions, you're now able to make decisions. That is data analytics. And it involves large amounts of information. And this information could be numbers, it could be texts, transactions, or observations. And you're using this information to transform, or rather, you're transforming that information into insights that can be acted upon. So in short, what are we doing? We are turning raw facts and figures, we are turning raw numbers, texts, transactions, or observations into decisions. We want to make some decisions. I hope that is clear. That is what data analytics is. And we have some examples here. And the examples that we have here, these are just very simple examples. Maybe you, for those that probably haven't interacted with data analytics, you thought data analytics is, quite complicated. It's not. It is as simple as how supermarkets use analytics to identify which products sell most on weekends and when customers' footfall peaks. That is, they're going to enable, smarter stocking and staffing. For example, a supermarket will be able to tell during the weekends, most people visit the liquor store. Yeah. So that is to mean we might need to, so from that data, and how do they get that data? So it's accumulation of collecting. You see, when someone comes to buy something from a supermarket, that is how they collect their data. And they're able to tell, when you look at between Friday and, between Friday and Sunday, there, most of the products that we sold were from the liquor store. Yeah, I'm just giving an example. Or during back to school periods, most times you're going to see that what are they called? Toiletries, most of them are usually bought during that time. So that is to mean they might need to restock or maybe have some spare stock in their store. And number two, they also want to know, that is the first thing. So when it comes to stocking, they want to understand during weekends, most people buy certain products. Yeah. So that is to mean we might need to have some spare stock of those products. Number two, they want to see when do we usually have most customers. So when do we usually have traffic? So if it is between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., then they might need to have some staff, some extra staff. Yeah, so that is to mean in the evening shift, instead of having the normal 10 staff members, then they're going to have how many? Maybe 15. They're going to have 5 additional staff. So that is how data helps in making decisions. Number two, when it comes to schools, they use analytics to track student performance over time. Also identify struggling learners, and also it's going to help them allocate resources where they are needed most. So in schools, they are able to tell which subject performed best last term. If it is mathematics, then that is to mean they're able to tell now, and which subject performed poorest last term. If it's, say, chemistry, then when it comes to allocation of lessons during remedials, they might have to allocate some more classes for chemistry. As simple as that. In hospitals, data analytics helps in monitoring patient data to anticipate demand and also improve care quality. There are also data analytics can help them know when to have more staff on board. Maybe there are those times they've scheduled, say, special clinics. So that is to mean they're expecting more patients during those days. So that is to mean if they have had some appointments during those, they have recorded some appointments, then they might need to schedule more staff during those days. I hope that is clear. Then in government, data analytics help in analyzing population data to plan infrastructure services and budget allocation. And I think this is usually used, it is also used when it comes to, policy development, like KIPRA, Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis. They usually use data analytics to come up with policies in different ministries. Okay, so that is how we apply data analytics in our real world, case scenarios. I hope that is clear. And I hope also that is making sense. So in short, data analytics is fundamentally about making sense of the world around us. So by analyzing raw data, organizations gain the clarity they need to act with. The organizations gain the clarity they need to act with confidence and not guesswork. So we are coming from, or with data analytics, we are coming from a point of, I think maybe we can assume 2 now having evidence-based decisions or making evidence-based decisions. And what is our evidence? The data that is already existing. And how are we able to do that? Through data analytics. Yeah, I hope we are able to follow through. And now, what is the importance of data analytics? Why does data analytics matter? So in a world overflowing with data, the ability to analyze and interpret information is one of the most valuable skills a professional can develop. So analytics helps organizations move from guesswork to evidence-based decisions. In healthcare, we've talked about that. Hospitals use analytics to improve patient outcomes, manage resources, and predict health risks before they escalate. For example, nowadays, I don't know if we have doctors in this, or maybe medical professionals in this training, but when you go to the hospital, they ask for your symptoms. So you go see the general physician, they ask for your symptoms, and you realize they're going to, they usually record in their computer. Then after that, you're now told that you're supposed to go to the lab for some tests. And you're told to do some tests, a number of tests, maybe 2 or 3 tests, depending on your symptoms. So what happens nowadays, we have systems that help predict from the symptoms. So they collect information, they collect the data, the symptoms themselves, they key in, and they are able to tell the possibilities, maybe the diseases that you're likely to be ailing from. Okay, for example, malaria, say typhoid, and maybe H. pylori. Yeah, so and you're sent to the lab to do what? For you to be tested for those 3 likelihoods. So you realize it helps in improving, or rather, it helps, first of all, it makes the doctor's work easier, because instead of them, they're there trying to, to predict what are you likely to be ailing from. Already they have maybe the top 3 diseases. Then you're sent to the lab. From the lab, now they are able to get the exact disease or the exact ailment. So that is how they usually work. So it helps in predicting the diseases, making their work easier and more accurate. That is one, and also helps in improving patient outcomes. And at the same time, they are able to manage their resources. Number 2, in education, schools and universities monitor student performance. They're also able to identify at-risk learners, and also evaluate program effectiveness. In businesses, companies understand their customers better. They're able to optimize operations, and also they are able to identify new growth opportunities. And in government, policymakers design more effective programs. They allocate resources fairly and measure the impact of public interventions. So those are some of the areas where data analytics help in. Are we together up to that point?
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
And in case you have a question, feel free to ask
we're
as we
together.
continue. Great, thank you. Now, I want us to go to the data analytics workflow, and we want to see what is the process. Where are we coming from? What does it entail? You have the data, so with the data, what am I supposed to do? So the data analytics workflow, this one is a very, I'd say, not basic, but this is some sort of a standard procedure that you're supposed to follow when you're doing your data analysis. It is important. Yeah. And the data analytics workflow provides a structured path from defining a business problem. So you already have a problem that you're solving, or rather, why are we doing this data analysis? Why are we analyzing this data? So that is to mean we need to define a problem, first of all, the problem that you're solving, all the way to communicating insights. And you're supposed to ensure that every step adds value and leads towards better decisions. Okay? So this is the data analytics process. It is a step. It has around 5 steps, major steps, but depending on the analysis that you're doing, it can go up to 7 steps. Yeah, especially if you're doing advanced data analytics, it can go up to 7 steps. So the data analytics process follows a structured sequence of steps designed to transform raw information into actionable insights. And skipping any stage can lead to flawed conclusions. Okay, so you have to follow them as they are. Number one, you need to understand the problem. The problem that we're trying to solve. I mean, what is it? What exactly is the problem? So this is where you define business goals, clarify what question you're trying to answer, and plan your approach. That is the first thing. Understand the problem. Number two, get your data. So this is the data collection stage. There are those times that the data has already been provided, and now you're supposed to define the problem when you already have the data. But there are those times that, first of all, you see, those times that you are doing the what are they called? Projects back in campus, those projects. And first of all, you needed to define the problem, then go ahead and collect your data. Okay? But there are those times that you already have the data, and now from that data, you want to make sense of that data. So you need to now come up with you need to define the problem that you're solving. So you have to collect your data. Data has to be there. Data has to be collected. So gather relevant data, not just any other data. And that is why you're supposed to understand the problem, so that you don't collect just any other data. You have to collect the most relevant data from, we have different sources. We have spreadsheets, we have databases, we have surveys, we have sensors, we have quite a number of, data sources, and you have different ways of collecting data. Yeah. So you just need to know, or rather, the most important bit on this stage is gathering the most relevant data. Number 3, you have collected your data. You now need to clean that data. And why are you cleaning this data? Or what are you removing, or what are you dealing with when it comes to data cleaning? So most times when you're collecting data, if you're the one collecting data, if you're dealing with primary data, you might find yourself missing some entries while doing your data collection. You might find yourself maybe doubling when it comes to duplicating some entries. You might find yourself maybe for example, if you're writing someone's name, you might write the name in instead of using the proper naming, you use the capital letters or lowercase, and so on and so forth. So we have those errors, structural errors, and so on and so forth. So in data cleaning, or in this particular step, we are removing duplicates. And why do we need to remove duplicates? To remove redundancy, because that is repeated information, so it won't make sense. Yeah, so we need to remove duplicates. We need to also correct errors such as proper naming. Maybe you've put some commas where they are not supposed to be there. You have some typos, all those things. And also handle missing values or inconsistent entries. So those times that you miss, some entries, that is to mean we have a blank space on a certain column in a certain row. So that is to mean we might need to handle that particular missing value. And we have different ways of handling missing values. In case you have inconsistent entries, just make sure that that particular column has some consistency. Yeah. Then after that, now we have cleaned the data. We now need to transform the data. And what is the essence of transforming the data? So once we've cleaned the data, we want to prepare this data to be ready for analysis. And we might not use it as it is. We might need to convert it to some form that would be appropriate for analysis. Okay, so this is where we structure and format data so that it is ready for analysis. That is data transformation. Then after that, we now get into the real thing, which is analysis. And analysis, we have exploration and visualization. So this is where we use charts and summaries to uncover patterns and relationships. Remember, we talked about, you have data, then from that data, you're supposed to get some patterns. Then from the patterns, you're supposed to do what? Draw conclusions. Then from the conclusions, you're supposed to make decisions. So on this particular stage, or rather in this step, this is where you are able to find those patterns. And we usually use visualizations just to help us understand how our data looks like. It's easier for you to use a pie chart than, a table with numbers. Yeah, it is easier for you to understand a pie chart compared to a table with numbers. So that is where we have the, visualization as we are trying to explore our data. So once we have explored our data and visualized our data, so that is where the analysis comes in, depending on the kind of analysis that you're doing again. Yeah. Then after that, you're able to draw the conclusions. Yeah. So you get the insights. You get insights from your summaries, the summaries that you've done, the calculations that you've done, and also from the visualizations that you've created. After that, you can now communicate those insights to your stakeholders. That is where the dashboards are used and the reports and also visualizations. Of course, dashboards and reports are usually created from a number of visualizations. Then from there, you communicate the insights to your stakeholders. Then you can go ahead and recommend some actions. I hope that is clear. So number one, we understand the problem. What are we solving? Number two, get the most relevant data. Number three, clean that data. Ensure that that data is in its right format. After that, we transform that data to be used for analysis. Then we go ahead and do the analysis. Under analysis, that is where we have exploration of your data. There is a term that is usually used, and we're going to come across it, that is known as EDA, exploratory data analysis. So this is where you explore your data to understand your data. So you're doing some exploration to analyze your data while analyzing your data, and also create some visualizations. Then from the visualization, or rather from the exploring your data, you go ahead and get some insights. So you're able to uncover some patterns and relationships. Then from those relationships, you draw some conclusions. Then you can now communicate your conclusions to the stakeholders and also go ahead and recommend actions. And on that stage of, on that part of recommending actions, that is where the decision making comes in. I hope that is clear and you're able to follow through. So that is the data analytics workflow. Okay, so we're going to see how, as we continue, we're going to cover the most important steps. And maybe even before I mention this, I know I'm going to mention this later, but one thing in data analytics, the most important stage is the data cleaning stage or the data preparation stage. Actually, for those that are in analytics, they know this is where you spend most of the time because you want to make sure that your data is reliable, your data is accurate, your data is in its right format. Once you miss out on that part, then you can be sure that the results that you get are going to be very unreliable and very inaccurate. Okay, so the most important stage is the data preparation stage, where you clean your data and also transform your data for analysis. I hope we are clear up to that point. Do we have any question? Any question? Okay, now we go to the different types of data analytics. So we've looked at what data analytics is, the workflow, the importance, workflow, and now we go to the different types of data analytics. These types can also be, referred to as the different levels of data analytics. So there are 4 broad levels of analytics, each answering a progressively deeper question. So that is why they're in levels. Yeah. So the journey from descriptive to prescriptive. So there is that bit. So we have descriptive kind of analysis. To prescriptive represents a shift from simply observing the past to actively shaping the future through data. Okay, so we already have the past, and now we are looking at the future. So, and in between we have this data. So how do we go about that? So the first step is descriptive analytics. I want us to start from down here, where we have descriptive analytics. That is the first step. So under this, we answer the question, what happened? And what happens in this descriptive analytics? So this is where we summarize historical data to understand past performance. So in short, you've already been given some data, and we want to understand what happened, what caused this data. Okay, what happened so that we got this data? So you're trying to understand historical data and what is the essence of understanding or summarizing the historical data? To be able to understand past performance. So that is descriptive analytics. And what do you do in descriptive analytics? This is where you perform summary statistics. So summary statistics include summation.
Ongari, I think, sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
If somebody raised their hand, I don't know if it is still active or it's an earlier one. Forward why, or you'll answer them later.
Maybe they can ask.
Madam,
Yes.
mine was just I needed to take a screenshot of the first screen, the first screen of your presentation.
Which was?
The first screen of your presentation.
The first page. Is it this?
Not that one, not that one.
Which one?
I think up to no, not that one.
What was it about?
It has ordered the analysis, the way you can collect the data.
Oh, okay. Let me see. This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Any other person with a question? Okay. So we continue. So I was talking about the descriptive analytics, and this is where we try to understand historical data. And when doing descriptive analytics, we usually do summary statistics. And what is summary statistics? Summary statistics include summation. You want to understand what is the sum, what is the median, what is the mode, what is the average. Simple statistics. Or just, where you just want to understand the summary of this data. Because with an average, you'll be able to tell the average sales of maybe this year, or maybe say last year was, say 500,000 per month. So that will give you a picture of how the sales were in that particular year. That is summary. Kindly mute.
You have muted everyone, Wangari. You can unmute so that you speak.
Okay. So, number 2, so that was descriptive analytics. We now go to diagnostic analytics. So we are diagnosing. And the question that you're trying to answer here is, why did it happen? So we already have our historical data, the data that is already there. Yeah, we have understood it. Now we want to understand what caused that. So why did it happen? So this is where you're able to identify reasons and patterns behind events. Remember, we talked about finding patterns. So we already have our data. We are studying our data. And while we are maybe visualizing our data or exploring our data, we identify some patterns. Yeah. So we want to, from those patterns, you're able to get a why, or rather you're able to answer the question, why? Why did it happen? Could it be because most people prefer a certain product and not this other product? Something of the sort. So that is diagnostic analytics. We are answering the question, why? Then we now proceed to predictive analytics. So predicting. So this is where we are looking at the future. So we already have the past or the historical data, the data that is already there. We have understood the reason as to why it happened. Now, from the why, we are supposed to now be able to do what? To answer the question, what is likely to happen next? So this is where you're able to forecast future outcomes based on patterns. So you realize we are building from descriptive to diagnostic. From diagnostic, you can now go ahead and do what? Predictive analytics. Once you're able to predict, what do? You can now prescribe. You're prescribing a solution. You're recommending an action. So under prescriptive analytics, what should we do about it? So this one recommends actions to optimize outcomes. I hope that is clear. So you are able now to recommend actions to optimize outcomes. I hope that is clear. So we come from descriptive analytics, basic understanding of your data, the data that already exists. Then we now go to understanding the why. So this is where you look at different patterns from your data and understanding those patterns. So from those patterns, you can now predict. We now go to predictive analytics. You can now forecast from this pattern here. That is to mean maybe if it doesn't rain next month, then there's a likelihood of us having maybe a dip in produce, for example, for those that are in agriculture, then after that, now from the prediction, you can now prescribe and tell these people, by the way, if it doesn't rain next month, maybe we can now look for another alternative. Do we maybe consider digging a borehole or something of the sort? So that is basically the levels of data analytics. There are those times that you're needed to go through all the levels of data analytics. And there are those times that you just need to do the descriptive analytics and you're good. So it depends on the, the level of analytics that you're doing. For advanced analytics, you start from descriptive analytics all the way to prescriptive analytics. Yeah, you just need to understand. And at this stage, what am I supposed to do? What am I expected to do? Is it a why that I'm answering? Is it a, is it a what is likely to happen kind of question that I'm supposed to answer? And with that, it's going to be easier for you to go through the data analytics levels. Okay. Now, we have the differences tabulated. And so the types of analytics, we have this comparison table. Sorry. So it's basically what I was trying to explain, but we have some examples here. Maybe you can try and, understand those. They should give you a better picture of what these type of analytics are. So you have descriptive analytics. The key question here is what happened? And the purpose is to understand past performance. An example is maybe if you're dealing with sales data or transactions data. So you want to compare, maybe you have data for the last 6 months. And from that data, you're able to tell that sales increased by 20% last month. So if you are to compare sales for February and January, then you'll be able to remember you're trying to understand your past data. So when you look through your data, you'll be able to tell the difference that maybe in say in January, we were talking about 100,000, but in February, we had around 120,000. So there's a certain increase. That is basic statistics. Then you go to diagnostic where we are trying to answer why did it happen? So this is where you identify the reasons and the patterns. Or from the patterns, you're able to get the reasons. So for example, sales rose because of a new marketing campaign. Yeah, so from the patterns, you can tell there was something that was added. When you look at January, we didn't have this marketing campaign. But then in Feb, when it was employed, then there was this increase. So there's a likelihood of, or rather, the reason behind the 20% increase is from the marketing campaign. Then predictive. So what will happen? So this is where you forecast future outcomes, and based on the trends, so you're able to, you're checking through the patterns, and from the patterns, you're supposed to predict, to forecast what is likely to happen. So based on the trends, if we continue with the marketing campaign, then the sales are likely to rise again the following month. Okay, then prescriptive analytics, what should we do? So if from the predictive analytics, we get, if you're able to predict, then we should be able to prescribe. So what should we do? So this is where we recommend actions or decisions. So the recommendation here is, based on this example, if we increase marketing in high-performing regions, or rather, you're supposed to increase marketing in high-performing regions to sustain growth. So, or in short, if you want to continue experiencing this growth, then we might need to increase, the marketing campaign in these other high-performing regions. Yeah, then that is where the prescriptive analytics comes in. And I hope that is clear. I hope with this example, you're able to, to see the progressive analytics in that particular example. So now, before I proceed to the types of data, again, as I mentioned earlier, there are those times when you just needed to do the descriptive analytics. You don't need a lot of, analysis, or you don't need a lot of diagnosis of your data. You just need to understand what was the summation, or rather, what were the total sales. Number two, what was the average sales in that particular season or that particular financial year? And, something like that. What was the median? What was the mode? Those are summary statistics. But there are those instances that you're supposed to cover the entire, the 4 levels of data analytics. You just need to understand, what question am I answering in this particular level? Level 1, what happened? Level 2, why? Why did it happen? So that is to mean you study, you explore your data further. Then predictive analytics. Are you able to tell what is likely to happen? Then if you're able to tell what is likely to happen, remember that is some sort, quote unquote, an assumption of what is likely to happen. Then can we go ahead and prescribe an action? Yeah. So from prescribing, then we are likely to get the results of what you predicted. Okay. I hope that is clear. That is the 4 levels of data analytics. Now, we go to types of data. And we said data is basic. Yeah, do you have any question before I proceed? Okay, if you have a question, feel free to ask, and maybe you can type in, because we are quite a number. Yeah, so maybe you can just type in. Then I'm going to get the question as we continue. Now, types of data. We say data is basic, or rather, data is raw facts and figures. It could be in different forms, numbers, it could be text, it could be observations, it could be images. Yeah, but they are raw. That is to mean you cannot get any information from it until you process that data. Okay, so we have different types of data. Number 1, we have qualitative data or categorical data. We have quite a number. We're going to look at them. So data comes in different forms, and understanding these types helps you know how to clean your data. Remember, data cleaning is very important. Which formulas to apply, because of course, if you're dealing with numbers and you have a column with numbers and a column with text type of data, then when it comes to cleaning the data, you might not use the same method, because for numbers, maybe you need to convert them to, say, integers, and for text, you need to have them in their proper format. Okay, that is why you're supposed to understand the different types of data. So, of course, it's going to help you know how to clean data, which formulas to apply, what chart fits best, and how to correctly interpret your findings. Okay, so we have quite a number of types of data. And the first one is qualitative or categorical type of data. And what is categorical type of data? So these ones are, so we can maybe talk about qualitative, then proceed to why it is categorical. And qualitative data, so we're looking at quality. It's not quantity. We are looking at a description of something. So this entails non-numerical data that describes qualities, labels, or characteristics, not numbers. I hope we are together. Qualitative, as the word suggests, we are looking at qualities. we are looking at description. So we are trying to describe something. Yeah. So it could be, it describes qualities, labels, such as colors. We have red, green, yellow, and so on and so forth. We have characteristics. Yeah. We have something like regions, a number of regions. Say we have Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa. Those are regions. Those are used to describe a certain place. And they're also known as, now the qualitative data is also known as categorical type of data. And under categorical type of data, remember it's non-numerical. We have nominal data and ordinal data. So nominal data, we do not follow any order. It is categorical, it is qualitative, but we are not following any order. We do not have levels in nominal data. So this is where we do not, there is no natural order. So categories cannot be ranked or compared in sequence. So that is to mean the data is not sequential. The data does not follow a certain order. It doesn't have levels. An example, we have colors. So like red, blue, green, there is no particular order. Yeah, they're just different categories without order. If you're talking about regions, we have Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa. That is nominal type of data. If you're talking about, say, sales agents, and we have Kamau, we have Otieno, we have Motua. Yeah, those we do not have any order. There is no ranking. If you're talking about countries, we have Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. There is no particular order. That is nominal or data. So we're coming from categorical data. Under categorical data, we have nominal data that does not follow any particular order. Then the second one is ordinal data. And what is ordinal data? This one, as the name suggests, there is what? Some order, a meaningful order, but the gap between values is not measurable. So we have education level. We are coming from primary school to secondary school to university. So there is a particular order that is being followed. Another example is customer satisfaction. We have poor, we have fair, we have good, we have excellent. Okay? Then we can talk about maybe when it comes to ranking in maybe workplaces, we have maybe an intern, then we have a junior. Okay, I'm going to give an example of maybe a tech firm that is dealing with data science. So we have an intern, then we go to junior data scientist, to a data scientist, to a senior data scientist. So there is a particular order, a meaningful order. I hope that is clear. So you have nominal data, no order. Ordinal data, we have a meaningful order. Like you can tell there's a difference between the first one and the second one, the primary school and say primary education level and then secondary education level. Then we go to university and so on and so forth. So that is categorical type of data. Now, the next section, or rather when it comes to still types of data, we have now quantitative data. So I know we have quite a number. Now, when it comes to advanced data analytics, that is where we now go to the specifics, yeah? But now these are the general categories. So you talked about qualitative or categorical type of data. Now we have quantitative. We have quantity. We are counting something. And if you are counting something, then we have numericals. Okay? So quantitative data represents numbers, something you can measure or count. And this is the most common data type in business analytics and is the foundation for most Excel formulas and charts. Most times when you're talking about data, for most people, whatever comes to their mind is numerical type of data. It is the figures bit, not the facts bit, it's the figures bit. So under the quantitative type of data or numerical type of data, we also have two types of data, main types of data, sorry. So we have discrete data. So these ones, or rather this type, contain or entails countable whole numbers. Are we together? Whole numbers. So they cannot include decimals. So you count these values one by one. So for example, 45, we have 1, 20, we have 3. Okay, those are discrete data. Discrete data, countable whole numbers. Whole numbers, we do not have fractions, we do not have decimals. We don't have 2.5, it's 2 or 3. Okay, that is discrete. Then continuous data, we have measurable values that can take any number, including decimals. So these come from measuring and not counting. So discrete, we are counting. Continuous, we are measuring. Okay, and examples are temperature. We have 36.6 degrees Celsius. Revenue, we have 245,780.50. Weight, we have 72.3 kg. So what are we doing? We are measuring and not counting. So that is continuous type of data under numerical. So again, so we have data. It has been categorized into two major categories. We have quantitative and qualitative. Under quantitative, what do we have? Quantitative, remember, it's numerical type of data. We have numbers. We have those that we can count. Those are whole numbers. And the name given to whole numbers is discrete data. Then we have those that we measure, like weight, temperature, maybe revenue, all those things, those that you're measuring or calculating. What are they called? Continuous type of data. And that is where we have decimals. Then we go to qualitative. Under qualitative, what do we have? We have two. And the two major categories are nominal data, doesn't follow any order. Ordinal data follows a certain order, like education levels, we have customer satisfaction, we have seniority levels, and so on and so forth. I hope that is clear. But now, when it comes to now advanced data analytics, we now get into, we have integers, we have real numbers, what are their differences, and so on and so forth. When it comes to SQL, we're going to see how we go about, how important it is for you to understand the different types of data. So before I proceed, when you're dealing with, you're going to realize, now this is just, I'd call it a general categorization of data. But when it comes to the specific tools, for example, in Python, we have the different types of data. When it comes to structured query language, you have the different types of data there. When it comes to Excel, we also have the different types of data there. So you just need to understand, what am I working on? What tool am I going to use? How am I supposed to categorize this particular value? And so on and so forth. Yeah, but these ones are the general categorizations of data. Then, still under types of data, we have time series and structured data. So time series data, this one is data collected over time. So there is a period of time that we are looking at to observe changes, trends, or patterns. So time is always a key component of this data type. Okay, so we have time series data. And this one is data collected over a certain period of time. And an example of such data is, say, weather forecasts, the weather forecasts, or rather the weather data that is used for weather forecasting. Yeah. So that is time series data because it is data that is collected over a period of time. And from that data, you're supposed to, or rather, it is used to observe changes. If you want to observe a certain change over a period of time, trends or patterns. And this type of data is best visualized using line charts. Line charts are used to visualize trends. Okay, it is useful for trend analysis and forecasting. And an example is daily sales figures for a month, monthly website traffic, and annual revenue over 5 years. So you realize in these three examples, there is some common aspect there, which is time. So for example, in the first bit is daily sales figures for a month. So we are collecting this data every day, but for a period of 1 month. Then we have monthly website traffic. For example, if you want to probably give some information about a certain year, so you'll be collecting, monthly website traffic. Then for annual revenue over 5 years, so we have 20, we're in 2026. So if we started in 2021, 2022, for those 5 years, then we're supposed to observe what are the changes. Did we have an increase? Did we have you're supposed to get some patterns from such data. So that is time series data. Data collected over a certain period of time. Now we go to structured data. So there is a structure here. And this is data that is neatly organized in rows and columns, the most common format in business analytics. So this type of data is easy to filter, sort, and analyze. It works seamlessly with Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And examples are Excel spreadsheets, database tables, CRM exports, and financial records. I'm sure we are familiar with this type of data, structured type of data. There's someone who is not muted. Could you kindly mute? Okay. So, still under the different types of data. So we were talking about structured data. It has a certain format. Yeah. So it is neatly organized in rows and columns. And you are familiar with that.
I've muted everyone, Wangari. You can unmute so that it's clearer.
Okay. So we have unstructured type of data. And under unstructured type of data, this is where not all data fits neatly into rows and columns. Unstructured data is information Kindly mute.
It's been muted. There's somebody whose hand is raised. I don't know if they can ask later or they can type in the chat box so that we save on time. Just what you can just type your question kindly.
Yes, thank you.
It's just a clarification. It's not really a big question. So Angari has explained that there are types of data for qualitative and quantitative. And then you went ahead and said time series data. And now we are on structured data. So is this structured and unstructured data under time series data, or where does it fall, in which category?
Thank you, Josephat, for that. No, structured, we are just looking at the different types of data. Maybe it's the way it has been organized in the notes, but the main types of data, like if you were to look at the main categories of data are the numerical and, the qualitative and quantitative type of data. Then we now go to the different data types, how they are structured and how they are collected. So for example, for time series data, it's based on a certain timeline. Then for structured data, it has some structure with it, like it has a neat structure, either in rows and columns. Then unstructured data, it doesn't have any particular structure when it comes to collecting that data or how it is stored. So probably I should have mentioned this, the main categories of data are the two, the quantitative and qualitative. Then we now go to the different types of data. So we have time series type of data. What does it entail? Then it's different from structured and it's different from unstructured. Is that okay, Josephat? So what will happen? So this is where you...
Yes.
Great. Sorry for the confusion again. I think it's the way I've put the notes, but yeah, we should just try and see how maybe I'm going to restructure these notes for better understanding under the types of data. So as I was saying, unstructured type of data, it doesn't fit neatly into rows and columns. And I've given an example of photos and videos in your gallery. If you are to share that data, or if you are to look at that data, of course, that data is not in form of rows and columns. Yeah. Social media posts. When it comes to reviews, they are not in form of they're not in form of rows and columns. It's just unstructured. Yeah, it doesn't have a certain structure. So this one cannot be analyzed with standard Excel formulas. If you are to compare it to, or if you are to compare this type of data to structured type of data, for structured type of data, because it is in form of rows and columns, it is easy to analyze them in Excel. But for such unstructured type of data, you might now have to, use Python for images, image analysis, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So tools required. We have processing unstructured data requires specialized tools such as Python, that is with NLP libraries, that is natural language processing libraries. For example, if you're dealing with text type of data, assuming you want to do something like sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis, you just want to understand, for example, maybe reviews from a customer or from customers about a certain product that you've listed on your website. Yeah, so you can decide to use, we usually use NLP, and of course, for you to be NLP is natural language processing. It's a library that is found in Python. Okay, then we have artificial intelligence or machine learning platforms. Those ones with the machine learning algorithms, you're able to analyze text type of data, audio recordings, photos and videos, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and specialized softwares like text analytics or image recognition systems. And why it matters? An estimated 80% of all data generated in the world is unstructured. So as you advance in analytics, understanding how to handle this data type becomes increasingly valuable. As I said earlier, that for most people, if you ask them what data is, whatever comes to their minds is data in form of numbers, figures. But they cannot imagine that data can be, text data type. Then you talk about data analytics. They're going to wonder, how are you going to analyze text data type? But now that is usually covered under unstructured type of data, because with unstructured type of data, that is where you now get into advanced analytics. And now you're able to apply Python or use tools like Python and apply technicalities like machine learning to be able to understand or analyze unstructured type of data. I hope that is clear. So we've talked about the different data types, how they are structured, and we've talked about the main types of data or the main categories of data. Then we've gone to the types of data. We've talked about time series, structured type of data, and unstructured type of data. Now, we have the data sources. Where are we getting this data from? So we talked about when you were looking at the data analytics workflow, step number 2 was gathering data. So how do we gather this data? Or if you are to gather this data, do I collect the data myself? And if I'm to collect the data, how do I collect that data? And if data is already there, how do I access that data? So we have different data sources in analytics. And what is a data source? So a data source is any place where your data originates. It could be a simple Excel file to a complex database system, an online platform, or even a physical machine or sensor. So knowing your data source helps you understand its reliability and limitations. So we have the most common data sources that we have. We have spreadsheets, and spreadsheets include Excel spreadsheets. We have Google Sheets. So they are similar. Google Sheets, it's just that it's a cloud-based, spreadsheet. Then we have Excel spreadsheet, where you use the Excel software. Okay, and these are the most beginner-friendly sources. They are used for sales reports, budgets, and attendance lists. So those are spreadsheets. So I'm just going to show you an example here. This is this here is an Excel spreadsheet. So whatever we have here is Excel. It's the Excel software. And what we have here, this sheet 1 here, is an Excel spreadsheet. Okay? Or an Excel worksheet. Then for a Google Sheet, it's a cloud-based Excel sheet, or okay, let me not talk about Excel, but it is a cloud-based spreadsheet. It has a similar, of course, a similar structure. It looks just like this, and for you can as well, you can as well convert it to an Excel sheet. That is to mean if you want to operate it offline, you can just download it and have it as an Excel spreadsheet. Those are the most common beginner-friendly sources. Then we have a database. Databases, we have SQL systems like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server Store, which stores large volumes of structured business data for enterprise use. Okay, so this is we use servers, the SQL structured query language servers to store data. So this is where data is stored in a database. Okay. Then we have business systems such as POS, that is point of sale. We have CRM, we have ERP and school management systems, which capture transactional data such as sales, customer records, inventory, and HR information. So those are business systems. Then you also have surveys and Google Forms. So Google Forms and Microsoft Forms collect structured responses for feedback, research, and event registration purposes. Okay, so under survey and forms, when it comes to data collection, okay, all these are their data sources, and they can be used to collect your data. For example, when it comes to business systems, we are able to do it when someone or when a cashier keys in the items that you want to purchase, those items are usually recorded. And when they are recorded, that is data that has been collected. The same thing for CRM, ERP, and school management systems, all those systems that are used. Yeah. Then we have surveys and forms. I'm sure we are familiar with surveys and forms. For example, when you are registering for this particular, training, there was that link that was sent and you are supposed to register on that particular form. That is another way of collecting data using surveys and forms. Then on this other side, once the data has been collected, once you've filled up your form and submitted it, the admin or the person who created that form, they're going to get the information in form of an Excel, an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. Or also there are those that can be, you collect your data, then it's stored in a database. You collect using a survey, then probably it's it's stored in a database. We have different ways of creating, the survey forms, the surveys creating surveys and forms. And a common tool that is used by people who are in research and in statistics, we have Kobo Collect. Yeah, Kobo Collect, that is where you create those forms. Instead of using the Google Forms, you can also use the Kobo Collect, then, to collect your data. Okay, that is part of data sources. Yeah, more data sources, we have web and app data. So Google Analytics and website dashboards, which help in tracking page views, clicks, user behavior, and conversion rates. And this one is essential for digital marketing decisions. You want to check how many people clicked my product. Yeah. So that is where we have the Google Analytics. For those people that have Google business accounts, they usually after every 1 month, they're going to give you the Google Analytics and tell you, in this particular month, we had like 50 clicks of this particular product. And then from there, you'll be able maybe to make, some business decisions. And in this particular case, digital marketing decisions. We also have business applications. We have POS, point of sale. We have CRM. We have ERP and school management systems, which automatically capture sales data, customer information, inventory records, and HR data in real time. Then we've talked about, I think it has repeated itself. Yeah, the last two, Google Forms for feedback, research, or registration. Then we have now the advanced data sources where we have APIs and automatic data feeds. So APIs from social media platforms, mobile money services, and weather systems enable automation and real-time data ingestion, which helps in reducing manual data entry and enabling live dashboards. We also have sensors and IoT devices. So we have the GPS trackers, water meters, smart devices, which produce continuous real-time data streams. And these are increasingly used in agriculture, in real estate for those that are in valuation, utilities, logistics, and smart city applications. And these are the same things that are being used by NTSA, like whatever they, effected yesterday. They're using sensors. Then we have public and open data. We have organizations such as KNBS, the World Bank, and the UN publish free data sets for public use, invaluable for research, benchmarking, and informing policy level decisions. So those are some of the data sources that we have. So if you want to, depending on the data that you want to collect or how you want to collect it, we have, these are the different data sources that we usually have. But of course, we have more, we have much more, just that these are the most basic and most common. Now, so we have talked about data analytics. We have talked about the different data types, or rather the categorization of data types, data. We've talked about the types of data, and now we've talked about the data sources. Yeah. So now from there, at least we have an idea of what data is, what data analytics is, and what it entails, and how you're supposed to go about data analytics. So the next step is tools that are used in data analytics. So we have tools, and these tools are used, or rather, we use these tools for different purposes or for different levels of analysis. Okay? So these tools, data analytics relies on different tools to collect, clean, analyze, and visualize data. So each tool serves a unique purpose depending on the task and depth of analysis required. So what we have, or what you're going to cover, they are the most widely used tools in the industry. And of course, we are not going to cover everything. We are going to cover the most commonly used. Then maybe we can mention the alternatives. Yeah. So we have Microsoft Excel. This one, I've shown you an example of an Excel worksheet or an Excel spreadsheet. This one is used for basic data manipulation and visualization. The key features include pivot tables. Remember, we are looking at Microsoft Excel for what? For data analytics. So the key features for data analytics under Microsoft Excel are tables, pivot tables. These ones are used for analysis. These tables are used for analysis. Then we have charts. Of course, that is where we have the visualization bit. We have formulas, and we have different and very many formulas in Excel. So we have sum, if, VLOOKUP, depending on the task that you're performing again. And this particular tool is ideal for beginners and quick analysis. Okay. Number 2, we have Power BI. This one is usually used for business intelligence. If you want to, to analyze your business, how you're doing, you want to tell the status of your business. Yeah. I know we have financial statements that can tell us, the status of the business. But we have now Power BI.
Yeah, please unmute Wangari. I've muted everyone.
Again, thank you, Levix. In case you have a question, kindly maybe just you can write it, or rather you can write it on the chat box. Yeah. Then, so I was talking about the Power BI for business intelligence, and this one is designed for interactive dashboards. So this is where we look at the different visualizations and how they can help us in business. Yeah, so we have, and how are we able to create those ones? We have dashboards, and we also have reports in Power BI. So this one is designed for interactive dashboards and real-time business intelligence. So that is to mean you can automate the process such that if you want to get the daily reports, you can decide to automate that process. So you have the data that is being fed, then you have your dashboards which contain the key performance indicators, the most important indicators, performance indicators for your business. Then you can tell how we are doing. By the end of this day, you're able to tell the average sales, the total sales, the customers that we had, the products that were most sold, and so on and so forth. So features under Power BI, the most common features under Power BI are drag and drop visuals. So we have visuals. Visualizations have to be there for Power BI. Then we have the data analytics formulas, data analytics expressions formulas, and live data connections for sharing insights across teams. So that is to mean you're able to share. So you have a workspace where you share your, say, dashboard. Then maybe your team members are able to connect and are able to follow through your work or your dashboard. That is Power BI. Okay. Again, Power BI is used for business intelligence. So if you have your own business, you can decide to have Power BI as something that is going to help you with that. So just a minute, looks like so then you go to SQL, structured query language. So this one is used
Wangari, if you allow me to just stop you a bit,
Okay.
just for a minute. There are a couple of questions I'm seeing on the chat box, which is fine. Maybe we can, because I'm seeing we're already running out of time, we can respond to some of them and then we proceed, if you don't mind.
Yes, maybe I can finish up on this bit, then
Okay.
these more analytics tools, then I can answer the questions.
Yeah, that's fine. There are even those open ones which I will assist you in answer. Just finish. Proceed.
Okay.
Sorry about
Okay.
that.
So we have more analytics tools. We have SQL, and SQL is structured query language. This one is used when you're dealing with databases, and it helps in knowing how to manage your database. And how are you managing this database? If you want to access data that is stored in a database, it has those, the queries that you're supposed to use. If you want to retrieve data, if you want to manage that data that is stored in a database, you use structured query language. We have different commands that are usually used when it comes to SQL. Select, join, group by, depending on, the task that you're trying to perform. Then, of course, we have different systems, or we have different IDEs for SQL. We have MySQL, we have PostgreSQL, we have SQLite. We have quite a number of, those databases. Yeah. Or the different IDEs that are used for SQL. Then we have Python. Python is a powerful programming language for automation, advanced analysis, and machine learning. For our case here, it's not for programming per se, for those people that are coding. Of course, it is for coding, but we are coding for our context it's coding for data analysis. Yeah. And this is where you're now able to maybe automate the data analysis process. That is Python. It is a programming language. So one thing that you need to have at the back of your mind when you're using Python, you have to code. Okay, so we have some codes, and it is used for advanced analysis and machine learning. Then we have R. R is a programming language which is more inclined to statistics. So for statisticians and for those people that are in research, this is a tool that is usually, used most times. And it has the same functionality as Python, just that for R, it is more inclined to statistical computing and data visualization. It is widely used in research and academic settings. So again, when you look at this, the analytics tool journey, you start with Excel for foundation, for basic analytics. You start with Excel. Then you proceed to SQL, where you need to manage your databases. Yeah. So you want to connect with a certain database. You want to get some data from that database. You want to access, you want to update, and so on and so forth. Then you now go to Power BI for business intelligence to create those interactive dashboards. And then now, if you want to automate the data analysis process, you want to build models. Yeah, that is where Python and R comes in. I hope that is clear. So those are the different tools that are used in data analysis or for data analysis. I hope we are together up to that point. I think, Levix, we can now go to the questions.
Yeah, okay, just quickly so that I don't take a lot of your time. Somebody had asked if we'll share the presentations. I think that will be shared, of course. After that is at the end of the training. I'm just trying to get to the questions again and close that window. Yeah, somebody asked, hope there is a certificate after this training. I think some of us joined a bit late, but if you joined late, you're most welcome. We're already into the training. So there will be certification after the training. That is also subject to you also filling the attendance form, which has already been shared on the chat box, but which will still be reshared. There's also a WhatsApp group, which whose link has been shared as well. You can also be able to join so that you are not left behind. Then the notes, yes, the notes will be shared. What certification I've talked about. Slides will be shared, the same things. Wangari, somebody asked, I don't know if this was already answered probably, is Power BI same as Power Query? That is to you. Then somebody says, can you include Power Query in Excel? Very essential in data cleaning. That's on you, Wangari. You can capture that as well. But I think somebody else also answered them on the chat. All right. How do data analysts integrate SQL databases with visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau? Then for those of us who don't have Windows laptops, can we have different tools, or it must be the Microsoft tools? Okay. Could anyone please okay. The link has been shared on the chat. Yeah, I think those are the major ones. Is there anything else since we are covering? Okay, since we are covering multiple tools like Excel, Python, and Power BI as well as SQL, what is your recommended best practice in the workflow? Okay, that is Wangari will assist us with that. Will there be an exercise to test our knowledge? John will answer that. John Mugai. Then attendance link, we will again reshare. Yeah, I think those are the very pressing questions that I've responded to some, but the technical ones, Wangari can probably respond.
Okay,
I didn't want them to pile up.
Yeah, because time is not on our side, Pia. So, someone asked, is Power BI same as Power Query? No, it's not. but they are somehow related because Power BI is now the business intelligence tool itself. Yeah. It is a software, it is a tool that is used for business intelligence, but Power Query is like the editor for Power BI, where you do your, where you're able to perform the different functionalities in Power BI. Yeah, for example, if you want to clean your data, you do it on Power Query. Yeah, if you want to transform your data, you do it from the Power Query editor. Yeah, so it is a part of it. I hope that is clear, Maggie. And of course, Brian has answered that. They are not the same, but they are related. Yeah. Then, can you include Power Query in Excel? Yes, there is Power Query in Excel, and that is also where you're able to do you're able to do the cleaning, the data cleaning and the data preparation process when you're dealing, or rather when you're using Excel. Yeah. The next question is, how do data analysts integrate SQL databases with visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau? So, Enoch, in SQL, and we're going to see SQL. Remember, we said SQL, that is where we have the databases. And for you to be able to create visualizations in Power BI, you have to have a data source where you're getting your data from. And that is where the integration comes in. So you can decide to connect your Power BI with your database, your SQL database, where we are getting our data from. Then we can now create the visualizations in Power BI. Okay, so Erastus, I hope that is clear, Enoch. For those of us who don't have Windows laptops, can we have different tools, or is it a must we use the Microsoft tools? I'm not so sure about this, the Microsoft tools, but I think there's a way you can work with apart from now the Excel, Microsoft Excel, and Power BI. Maybe I can confirm these tomorrow, kindly, Erastus, whether there is going to be some limitation to that. I'll confirm that. The other question was from so from Kevin, since we are covering multiple tools like Excel, SQL, Python, and Power BI, what is your recommended best practice for the workflow? For example, at what stage do you prefer to do heavy data cleaning in SQL or Python versus leaving the transformations for Power Query in Power BI? So Kevin, it depends on the kind of analysis that you're doing or the task that you're performing. So if your task is for creating a dashboard, yeah, if you're supposed to create a dashboard that is supposed to help stakeholders make decisions, then that is to mean you're going to go the Power BI way. So maybe for you to be able to connect Power BI and SQL, for example, if your data is stored in an SQL database, so that is where you're going to connect that database with your Power BI. Then you can now go fully, you can now decide to work with Power BI. Yeah, so that is to mean the only bit where SQL is going to come in is you getting the data, accessing the data from SQL database. When it comes to Power BI, you can now go to Power Query, do the data cleaning, data transformation, then create the dashboard. I hope we are together. So it basically depends on the task that you're performing. Yeah, for a dashboard, creating a dashboard, then you can go the Power BI way. if you're supposed to automate or maybe build a model, a machine learning model, so what do? And maybe your data is stored in a database in SQL. So you connect SQL to Python to get the data. Then from Python, you can now go to, you can now follow the workflow of loading your data, cleaning your data, preparing your data for, for analysis, doing the data transformation, feature engineering. Then you can now proceed to building the model and now automating the process. So the answer to that is it depends on the task that you're doing. If the task is for automation, then you can go for Python. But if your data is stored in a database, then you need to know how you connect SQL and Python, then proceed with Python. Okay, then if you're dealing with a dashboard sort of a problem, you're supposed to create a dashboard. What do? You connect Power BI with SQL because that is where you're getting your data from. Then use Power BI for the entire data analytics process. I hope that is clear, Kevin. Yeah. There is a question by Joab, just a concern. Can data analytics be used in risk management? Yes, it can be used, especially advanced analytics. So you want to predict risk. And this is something that is usually used by data scientists or data professionals in insurance or in insurance. They usually apply data analytics when it comes to prediction of a risk. And that is advanced analytics, where you're going to create maybe a model in Python using a machine learning algorithm to help you predict the likelihood of a risk happening or not happening. Yes, so it can be used. And now command tools like Excel, SQL, Python, Power BI, which one is most important for beginners to master first and why? As I said earlier, Excel is the okay, not most important per se, but it's a very basic tool and easy to understand. It has inbuilt functionality, so it's going to be easy for you to follow through. But again, it also depends on the task that you're performing, because there are tasks that you cannot perform in Excel, but you can perform them in Python, and you can also perform them in Power BI. So it basically depends on the task that you want to perform. But for beginners, I think Excel and also Power BI. Power BI is a very simple tool, data analytics tool for business intelligence. I think so another question, data is rarely perfect. How do you avoid analysis paralysis and know when a data set is finally clean enough to start visualizing? So we're going to look at that, Kevin. But of course, we have the major things that you look at when it comes to data cleaning. You have to make sure that your data doesn't have any missing values. And if it has missing values, you have to know how you deal with those missing values. Yeah, how do you handle them? Do we have any inconsistencies? Again, remember we talked about defining the problem. Yeah, so you need to know what am I trying to do? What at the end of this analysis, what results are expected? So from that, you'll be able to know, first of all, what columns are the most important. Yeah, so you have to look at the most important columns. How are they supposed to be structured? Are they in the right format? And so on and so forth. So those are some of the things that you look at when it comes to data cleaning. Yeah. but there are those basic data, I'd say, data data cleaning aspects that you have to look at. Duplicates, do we have duplicates? Do we have missing values, inconsistencies, structural errors? You have to look at those things. Yes. And I think we have tools like Python, which usually make your work easier because it's going to go through your data. It doesn't matter how big your data is. It could be a data set with over 1 million entries, but it's going to just go through the entire data to check through those aspects. Yeah. So I think maybe the last question, then I can hand over to Levix because of our time. So Enoch asks, in real world projects, do analysts rely more on programming tools like Python or visualization tools like Power BI? Again, it depends on the task that you're performing, because if you're a business analyst, then Power BI is the most, Power BI and Tableau and Looker Studio, those are the, the most relevant tools that you're supposed to use. For those that are for data scientists, they are likely to be, they are likely to use Python. Yeah, so it basically depends on the tools, the task that you're performing. Yeah, or the project that you're doing. Yeah, I think that's it. Levix, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Wangari, for the training and for taking us through. You've covered everything, or for the day?
Yeah, for the day, then from tomorrow we start on the different tools, the different data analytics tools. So we're going to start with Excel, then proceed to SQL and Power BI.
All right, thank you very much. So thanks everyone also for staying put all through. I know today was the introductory bit, but Wangari has shared with us a lot of insights around data analytics and the various tools surrounding it, and of course, a lot of other things. So tomorrow we dive deeper into the practical bits of it, and of course, we cap it up on Thursday. So yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of us have typed in a lot of the questions on the chat box, but is there anybody who probably wants to add anything or ask a question before we call it a night? You're free maybe to unmute and share with us. And I know there are those who joined a bit late. These sessions are meant to start at 5:30 p.m. So tomorrow, please, we try and join in time. I believe even the link will still be reshared in time so that we can be able to cover as much as we can. Anybody with a question, feel free to type on the chat box, or you could also unmute and speak. But at the same time, yes.
So for me, I think I was part of those people who joined late. So my question would be to the one I sent on the chat, because currently we are, as a new learner, like learning new things. Is there a recommendation or maybe a class that attests or a practical that will be set to test the knowledge you've learned? And then the second question will be, I'm not currently on WhatsApp, so is there other outlets I can learn more? I can get updates. Is there a place I can get updates? And also, I hope the meeting link won't change. It will be remaining the same since I'm not on WhatsApp.
All right, thank you for that. So I think the first question was on, I don't know if I got you well, but could you please come up? I think I lost you. I got you on the second question clearly, so that I just answered the right thing.
Oh, so the question is, will we get like a test to be a practical to test the knowledge we've learned on this training? Okay.
Yeah, we'll share test. I don't know if John is on. John, you can hear me? Maybe you can clarify on that. But yes, there should be a test which will be shared to you after the training, probably within a week after the training. You should get a test via your registered email. That test will be able to help us certify you. If not, then we will be able to certify you based on the attendance forms that you guys will have filled. But when John returns to the call, he'll be able to clarify on that, because that is usually coordinated with us and together with the ICT authority
Yes,
that
Levitt, I'm in
enables
the
us to
call.
certify. Yes. Are we going to have a test for those who attended to certify them?
Yes, most definitely. As we've been very clear on the chat that we wish for everyone to capture the attendance, please do join the WhatsApp group that has been created. The attendance form has also been shared on this chat and also been shared on the WhatsApp platform. So what happens is after the 3 days, we require a minimum participation of at least 2 of the days. And then afterwards, we'll onboard you on our platform that has the assessment for the specific program that we're having with DataBreed. So afterwards, you'll be able to get your certificate through our platform, and that certificate can be validated by anyone who wishes to do so. So my encouragement to everyone is please join the sessions today, tomorrow, and the day after for us to be able to make this process very seamless. Now, in terms of timelines, by Friday, we should have already made our own analysis of everyone who participated. And by latest Monday next week, you should already be onboarded for the assessment. And once you're onboarded, it's now up to you to be able to uptake the assessment. And after you are successful, it requires a pass mark of 70%. Once you are successful, you're able to get your certificate on our platform. That's it from my end.
All right, thank you very much, John, for that clarification. I hope it is clear to the gentleman who asked.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Odongo, also you have a question as well?
Yes, I do have a question. So will there be practicals?
Yes, the test will be both theoretical a bit, but mostly practical.
Okay, just apart from the test, just talking away from the test, is there practicals in the lessons?
Yes, exactly. That is from tomorrow. So today we are doing more of introductory, just to put everything into perspective and in place, because we don't want to jump you into. Sorry?
Okay. So just still on that. So maybe could we
Yes.
be given, if there are things that we need to have, the tools that we need to have, can it be given now so that we can get them ready for tomorrow's
Yes.
practicals?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. I think, Wangari, you can come back into that.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. You're supposed to, the tools that we're going to look at are four. So we have Excel, Microsoft Excel. We also have Power BI. So you can, if you're able to, you can install the Power BI desktop. We also have, for Python, we're going to use Jupyter Notebook, but then we can also use the Google Colab. Yeah, it's free and it's online based. So that is for those people that are not able to have the Jupyter Notebook, we can use the Google Colab. And then we can have we can as well use Google Colab for, for SQL, yeah, for DBSQL. And then, so we have Power BI, we have Python, and we have Excel and SQL. I think we are okay. With those three, we'll be okay. So we have Power BI desktop. If you're able to, you can install it. We have Microsoft Excel. We also have Google Colab. And for those that are able to, maybe you can download, you can install a Jupyter Notebook from Anaconda. Yeah, the Anaconda Navigator. And then for SQL, we can still use Google Colab. There's no, but if you have MySQL Workbench, we can work with that. Yeah.
All
Again,
right.
Power BI, desktop, Google Colab, and Microsoft Excel.
All right. Thank you very much, Wangari. And also, many of those tools, in fact, probably all of them are open source, so you don't need to pay for them. And if you need to pay, then you can also use the trial versions. Somebody, Stephen Odindo, you're free. You can ask your question.
Okay, just a quick one.
Yes.
Wangari has mentioned about using Excel. Is it Excel specifically? We cannot use Google Sheet instead? Because I'm not using Microsoft Windows on my end.
Yeah, I think just as she shared earlier, we have various spreadsheets, and Excel is one of them. And of course, Google Spreadsheets is another. But because of time, we only have like 3 days. So just 2 more days, and it's only 2 hours per day. We may not be able to use all of them. But Google Spreadsheet is still a good option. You can be able to learn on it. At Data Africa, we also have that on our longer courses. So you can also reach out later. We assist you. But for this program, we will focus on Excel. That's correct, Wangaria?
Yeah, that's right. And also, I think the functionalities that are used in Excel, they're the same functionalities that can be used for Google Sheets. So if you're able to follow through, you can be doing the same things on your end as well, Stephen. Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you. Absolutely. That's what I wanted, because they are more or less the same. One is
Yeah.
just web-based, the other one is offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. Catherine, you're saying my question is about identifying the business question and business problem. How do we go about it before doing the analysis and all that? Wangari, you'd like to go on that?
Yes. Let me see the question again. Could you kindly read for me the question again?
Yeah, Catherine Ditu says, my question is about identifying the business question and business problem. So how do we go about it before doing the analysis and all that?
I think that can be more practical, or rather, that can make sense when we do a practical example where we have a case study and we want to identify what problem are we solving. So that is where we want to answer, or rather, not answer per se, but we want to identify the business problem, then define the question. What are we solving? So I think, Catherine, we have a case study that we're going to look at tomorrow. I think it's going to now make sense then.
All right, thank you for that. So Catherine, please ensure you are around tomorrow so that you're able to get answers to that in details. Thanks, Wangari. Then Emmanuel says, thank you very much, Madam Wangari and Levix. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Triple D, you're saying I don't have a laptop. Am I eligible? Well, I think for today, because we are not doing much of practical, anybody with a device, a phone that can view the email, rather can view the meeting, was able to get some value. But tomorrow, because we will be doing some practicals, I think it would be advisable that you get a laptop or a computer that can be able to help you practice. I think technology matters, data matters, cybersecurity matters, AI. Whenever you get the chance to practice, the better. So especially on the things that Wangari will be taking us through tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, it would be ideal to have a device that can allow you to practice alongside her training. Then, yes, does DataBreed Africa have has a SaaS platform to access these tools rather than downloading them on our local machines? Yeah, there is, but I think that is for the internal team members. But I think for this program, you can just download them on your device, so that you, even beyond this program, you can still be able to use them for practice and for problem solving. Yeah, so for this one, you can just upload them or download them on your device individually for your continued access. I don't know if there's another question I've left out. Somebody also said they're not on WhatsApp, but they would want to be updated on the programs and everything else. So I shared with you the link to our LinkedIn profile. where we also keep ourselves posted on the programs we have together with our partners, including ICTA and other partners. And apart from DataBreed Africa LinkedIn page, you can also follow ICTA, ICT Authority, on LinkedIn, Twitter, that is X, I think, as well as the other platforms. So of course, both companies, both organizations are very present and active on those social media platforms of your choice. So I've just dropped the link on the chat. You can be able to click onto it and follow. The WhatsApp group link had been shared much earlier. I'm trying to see if I can get it again so that I paste it back. Just to ensure that you are also updated. That is for those that are on WhatsApp. I've reshared it on the link, rather on the chat. So you can be able to click and join the WhatsApp group. Any small updates will be shared there. And of course, we will be able to assist you even on the smaller bits through those channels that I've shared. I don't know if there's any other question that I've left. I can see we're already some quarter an hour past time. I believe there are no other questions.
Mine will be I hope the meeting link won't change, it will still be the same.
Yeah, the link should not change, but in case it changes, if there's any change or any update from us or from ICTA, it'll be shared with you on the WhatsApp channel. That is the WhatsApp group, or even on our social media platforms, but it should remain the same for the 3 days. But just ensure you're part of the group that John shared the link earlier. I've also reshared it on the chats so that you don't, in case of any updates, whether it is about the link or whether it is about anything else, or even sharing of any further material, we can be able to definitely help you. Any other question? You can, Odongo, also your hand is up. I don't know if but you had spoken earlier. I don't know if you have another question. Daniel Mwangi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes,
I have a challenge.
Yes.
I don't have a laptop. I have a phone, a smartphone, and I don't know how I can access a laptop. So I don't know how you can help me.
Okay. First, thanks for joining. But now, well, there are areas you can get value even without a laptop. But being that these are practical, especially starting tomorrow, these are more or less practical sessions. It would be ideal to have one. I'm not very sure how we can assist you get one, or somebody saying find an Ajira center. Yeah, I think there are usually Ajira centers. I'm not sure about that, but Fody, why you saying find an Ajira center? Probably they have devices or laptops, but it's also night. I don't know how that would be practical in the evening. Yeah, but what we could do, Mwangi, we are recording these sessions. So we will share the recordings after the classes are over, together with the notes and the slides. So you can be able to go through them at your option time when you're ready with a device, or you can even go to the Jira centers as somebody has suggested, or the digital hubs. On top of that, there is we also have even longer programs. This is just a 3-day program, which we may not cover 100% data analytics because of time. But if you want to join the longer programs, DataBreed Africa has, even in partnership with ICT Authority, we still have longer programs that go for as long as 4 months and as long as 6 months, which are very extensive as well. So you can weigh in the options and see what works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if there's anything else about, okay. Yes, slides will be shared. The slides, I think, will be shared mostly via your email. So ensure that you sign up the attendance form. And also the attendance form, please fill it up with the correct name, because that is the name that will be used on your certification. I'm repeating, kindly fill up the attendance form, the Google form that has been shared by John and the team. share it with the correct name because that is the name that will appear on your certification. Yes, I don't know if there's, all right, somebody is asking, are the longer programs still free? No, the longer programs are paid for. Yeah, the longer programs are paid for. We will share more details about them as the course progresses, but data science, analytics, and business intelligence course is 40,000. That runs for 6 months. Artificial intelligence program runs for 5 weeks. That is only 10,000. Data engineering runs for 6 months as well. That is 40,000 also. Cybersecurity and ethical hacking also runs for 6 months at a cost of 52,000. So yeah, that is how they are offered. But of course, apart from the paid ones, we have free programs like this one we're having today. You can always take advantage of if you don't have the capacity. What is it called? Financial capacity to be able to pay for them immediately. So you can make use of the free programs we have. And if you want to know the free programs, join the WhatsApp group that John had shared. And furthermore, follow the channels, follow ICT Authority on LinkedIn or their socials. Also follow DataBreed Africa on their socials so that you know when free programs are available. Yes, I don't know if there's any other questions that I've not answered. Do you offer attachments? Yes, we offer. That is Peter Mwangi. Yeah, we offer attachments. Subject to availability. So you can always reach out. You can email info@databreedafrica.com for such inquiries so that the team that is concerned can be able to assist you. Rotich is asking, do you offer internships? Also the same case, subject to availability. But some of our programs like the data science, analytics, and business intelligence has an internship of 2 months, which is attached to it. So the moment you sign up to that program, automatically, you get a chance to have a 2 months internship free of charge. So that ensures that you get the technical training, such as what we are being taught here by Wangari Mushai. Then, of course, you have the industry practical approach that will be able to make you job ready. So there's all that. Somebody also asked. Yeah, I think I've answered most of the questions. Anything else, you can be able to reach out on the WhatsApp group, but I will also drop our number. You can be able to reach out even to me. I can assist you. Because of time, I don't want to keep everybody here for long. You can reach me on the number that I've typed on the chat box. But I appreciate all your questions. I appreciate all of them. There are a lot. I may not be able to answer all of them. Somebody, Enoch Kipwech, you're asking, can you implement a class for Cisco packet tracer as well? Yes, we are a Cisco partner. So anything Cisco, we're able to help you with that. As I said also earlier, we also offer enterprise IT solutions, including cybersecurity and infrastructure, as well as corporate training. So yes, Enoch, we can be able to help you on that. I've dropped my number on the chat box. You can be able to reach out so that we assist you. We can discuss that directly in details. Yes, any other question? I think we are good. John, anything to add if you're there, or the ICTA team?
Nothing to add on my end, but just to appreciate everyone who made time to participate in the sessions for today. To appreciate the DataBreed for the collaboration, for the continued support, and definitely wish to see everyone who's in the meeting today, tomorrow. And if you know anyone who had applied to be part of these sessions, or anyone who may be interested, the door is still open. Please let them know that I will be available tomorrow and the day after so they can join. And especially when you get to the practical sessions, please take this from me. DataBreed is one of the most practical institutes that we have partnerships with. You will benefit. Myself, I will benefit, and I do not wish for anyone that I know who has any interest in data analytics to not benefit from the sessions. So especially tomorrow and the day after, please ensure that you join, and you join in good time. You will for sure, trust you me, benefit from the insights that we'll get from the trainers from the institution. So Levix, from my end, that's okay. I believe it's now close to 8. If there is nothing to add, we can end the session.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Yes, I think that's okay. Thanks a lot. There are no other questions. Perhaps the ones that are there that we may not have answered, you can reach out directly to us or even to John and the ICTA team. We shall be able to assist you. Somebody says the cost is a lot. Well, that is the cost. It's not quite a lot looking at, if we say a 6-month program, John, we're just winding up. 6-month program going for 40,000 is not necessarily a lot considering the market. You can maybe make comparison with the other training institutes. We just want to give you value as well. But on top of that, you can also join our crash courses. They are even much cheaper and take a shorter time. If you want to do just Excel, just SQL, just Python, just Power BI, just maybe SPSS or Tableau, whatever it is you just want to do in terms of data analytics. If you want to do a specific tool, maybe you are good with the rest, but you are not good with one, you can pay a small fee for that. So we'll share more of that. I don't want to take much more time here, but you can also reach out to John or to us for further assistance. All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you a lot.